Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're here this time trying the Knob Creek small batch 100 proof. I've never tried this before. I don't know about these guys, but I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, well, this is another one of my bottles. You can see I've had about half of it over the time I've had it. It's apparently aged 9 years. Was at a get together with some friends, and we had 15 bottles of whiskey on the table that we all tried and ranked. And the Knob Creek ended up one of the top whiskeys there, and then it was for sale pretty cheap at one of our larger box stores in the area. So I thought I'd pick up a bottle and finally get around to bringing it onto the show. So
now this is Kentucky. This is not a local.
Yeah, no, this is
available wherever you are. And now I'm pretty sure I've tried Knob Creek before, and it's usually at least decent. It's usually good.
Yeah, they're a fairly large brand as far as I'm aware.
So all right, well let's give it a try. Knob Creek 100. Not a fan.
it's pretty decent in my opinion. Although it is kind of 100 proof, so it's got a bit of a sharp bite to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I was especially prepared for, but I'm not going to say that it's ungodly. It's actually it's okay in my opinion. For 100 proof, anyways, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah. So personally, I usually put a cube in this one. It cuts the bite, since once you get up above 90 proof, you're starting to get that kind of numbing effect. I do like the flavor on it, though. Yeah. So before you swallow, when you're still kind of holding it in there and getting the flavors, it's kind of like I got a heavier body, I want to say, than a lot. There's a little more punch to the flavor than some of the other whiskeys.
From over here. That's a first.
Yeah.
It's like this is almost. And you say they have 100 and off camera before we started the episode. You said there's also 120, which is pretty much cask strength.
Yeah.
And I know I've had better cask strength whiskeys that I liked better. So I don't know if it's necessarily that it being 100 proof, and like you say, you drink it with an ice cube.
Yeah.
I've had better whiskeys that were this high of proof, or whiskeys I like better with this high of proof. It's it's not horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think, like you said last episode, we've tried so many whiskeys, our nose is getting a little high in the air. It takes a lot to impress us.
Right.
And so with that in mind, is this a bad whiskey? No. In the grand scheme of things, of all the whiskeys we've tried, does it rank really high? No. Now, what did you say you paid for this?
Under 40.
Okay.
So in the mid 30s, I'm 38 maybe. So I like this one because I feel like putting a cube in it is warranted. So there are days when I don't want a full strength hit of whiskey, and I feel like a lot of the whiskeys we drink, that does it a disservice. When you put it on the rocks, I feel like we get a lot of whiskeys that you should be drinking neat, at least in our opinion. This is not the case with this one. This one I feel like a little bit lighter. I just want the whiskey. It's bold on flavor. So when you put a cube in here and let it melt, which is what happens, I don't drink my whiskey fast enough that the cube is still there. When you put it on the rocks, this stands up. It's still got a decent bold flavor that you can get with it a little watered down, but you lose that bite and that punch, which honestly I'm not a huge fan of numbing my tongue.
Right.
So this is a whiskey I feel is designed to be on the rocks and stands up well when you do it that way.
Right, and a lot of people like to slam, even putting an ice cube in there. But the reality is that, and a lot of people don't want to accept this fact. The fact is, most whiskeys, a great majority of whiskeys, are watered down. Unless it says cask strength on there, that means that it was watered down. So putting an ice cube in it when it's 100 proof to bring it back down to a more standard 90, like he says, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not, you're not wussing out by anything any more than you are drinking a 90 proof neat is the same as drinking 100 proof or 120 proof with that ice cube. It's the same thing.
Right. So that's, I'm not saying that it's better than a lot of the whiskeys we have. I'm not sure I would agree with that statement. We have a lot of really good whiskeys on here. I like it because I can throw a cube in here and feel like I'm not doing it a disservice.
Right.
I understand that entirely, although I was really surprised because although I haven't really had a whole lot of 100 proof whiskeys, I've noticed that I've had at least a few in my lifetime, and the first thing that I noticed with this was the first whiskey that I noticed that really did, like, literally almost make my tongue and my cheeks numb for a couple of seconds. That real sharp burn to it. I'm not used to that, even if it is 100 proof. I've sat there and drank 100 proof stuff that doesn't even come close to doing something like that. So it was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So for the price, would you recommend?
I'm not sure I'd buy another bottle. I don't drink a lot on the rocks. But it's also, there's hundreds of whiskeys out there I've never had, and I like to buy things I've never bought before.
Yeah.
Do I regret buying it? No.
No. Yeah.
Would I buy it again? There's almost no whiskey that I've bought a second bottle of. So that's not really a bar that I can set. Like we talked about the top whiskeys we've had on the show a couple weeks ago, and I'm realizing I need to go buy another bottle of Tullamore Dew, which is like another good Irish that I'm like, oh, I kind of missed that one. I won't really miss this one because I'll find something else that's just as good.
I always tell people, what's your favorite type of whiskey? When I haven't tried yet. I don't. I have zero loyalty, and that's maybe why we do this. We end up doing this show is we have zero brand loyalty, zero loyalty at all when it comes to whiskey, and so our favorite type of whiskey is one we haven't tried. So and there are a few that we do rebuy. In this house, we've bought Burnside Bourbon a few times.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of heritage distillery products we rebuy. Rebel Yell. I'll probably be buying Benchmark. We have a local distillery here in Olympia. If you're in Olympia,
I need some more of that blind.
Blind
yeah,
Pig,
I need more of that.
Shine.
No, wait. I have to retract. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about our top
flavored
whiskeys. Yeah, no, Apple Shine beats out
the fact that we didn't
Yes.
mention Blind Pig Apple Shine. Now I still say brown sugar bourbon. I'd still say that's my number one, but Blind Pig Apple Shine is a close second.
That's something that I would really like to try. I haven't gotten the chance, but
yeah.
I've heard enough about Blind Pig Spirits to where I'm actually looking forward to something that they've come out with. Me personally, I live in downtown Olympia, so I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt that I have,
because they're right there by the buses.
Exactly.
And it's only like I can't remember how much it is for their flight, but their flight is like super cheap. It's like $5-10, something like that.
I'm gonna have to remember that because honestly, like, I've heard nothing but good things about Blind Pig Spirits. I've really got to go in there.
And you have to. The bad news about Blind Pigo is you got to be in the distillery to get it. They don't. Last I checked, they still don't have distribution. So we probably need to message them and ask them, hey, do you got distribution?
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
I'm pretty sure they don't, because we follow them on Facebook and they haven't started screaming from the rooftops that they have distribution yet. So, any final words on Knob Creek 100?
As far as I'm concerned, like I said, it's a little bitey for me. I've never really had anything that has sat there and really numbed my tongue. It's not exactly You know, it's not exactly the best whiskey in the world, but it's not terrible either.
Yeah, I think like he says, if somebody bought this for me as a gift, I'd probably drink it with an ice cube, like he said. But would I actually go out and buy it on purpose? No.
Yeah, which that's fair. I mean, it's we buy things, we try them, and we hit and miss, and
Yep.
I would say about 80% of ours we wouldn't buy again.
Yeah, about 8, and that's
Yeah.
So us picky bastards wouldn't fight too many people to.
But if you gave me a shot, I would drink it.
Yeah.
But so take that for what it's worth.
I'd give this about 3 shots out of 5.